good and informative. So
amazing.
Yeah. Okay, we're recording. So whenever you're ready, Alice.
Fabulous. Hello. I know I've just said my name is Alice, but I work for the Intercom Trust, which is an LGBT plus charity. We have been established for 26 years now. And today I'm just going to explore the range of services that we offer. And I think my main aim is to kind of explain what service might be relevant for a referral. I think the trap some kind of organisations might find themselves in is if there is someone, an individual, a student, or anything like that, who is LGBT, maybe they think, oh, I'll make a referral just for that. But it goes without saying, being LGBT is not an issue in of itself. So it's just about thinking about, okay, what is this person facing because of their LGBTness, and how could that help? So I do have a little break planned in. So please do let me know if I'm going too fast or anything like that. But yeah, there will be a break, and then at the end there'll be a Q&A session. Yeah, so thank you very much. So I thought I'd start with just sharing our vision. We have recently created this mission statement because kind of the current political climate and the climate in society, it is becoming more challenging, more scary to be a member of the LGBT community. We're experiencing a lot more hate as an organisation supporting the community. So we felt that it was quite important to make a mission statement. So we had a staff meeting where everybody contributed, and then a panel, which I was very fortunate to be on. And we came together to kind of create this, which I'll read to you, which just explains what we do and what we don't do. So it's quite helpful for clients and for people wanting to refer into us, but it's also helpful to be very clear on what we offer for people that maybe oppose or challenge our support. Intercom Trust is a person-centred, client-led, inclusive charity, and we support LGBT plus people who access a range of services we offer. We work within the legal framework to provide a safe, respectful, non-judgmental space for our clients in which to navigate a variety of issues. Sorry, I'm just moving so I can read it. We do not encourage, diagnose, or provide medical advice on topics such as hormonal or surgical interventions. We approach all of our client sessions without bias or agenda. We have been supporting our community for over 26 years, and we will continue to do so, which is just clear for clients as well, that we cannot offer medical intervention. That's not what our charity is about, but we are there to uplift and support people when they need it, facing a range of issues. And so our values are quite consistent really with I've seen some of the wonderful meetings that we've had as part of this inclusion branch, very consistent with other organisations here. So we're there to promote equality and justice. We're confidential and trustworthy, and it's just about having that fair, inclusive, non-judgmental space for LGBT plus people. I know that many of us in the room will have been supporting people in this community and will know this, but that does often pose another barrier. So you may be supporting a client with one initial issue, but that LGBT-ness can often be a barrier for them when feeling confident enough to access services, or to even report things, or go to their employers or things like that. So it's just about having that space where they know that they're not judged, and it's a safe space to be who they are, and then to tackle those problems, which is why meetings like this are really fantastic, because we really value linking up. If you've spent so much time with a client building a great rapport and supporting them, and then something comes up and maybe you think, oh, okay, this is a barrier, the LGBT-ness is something that is worrying them, then we're very open to working alongside others as well to be a part of that support. So it's not just that you have to pass on your clients, we can always work together to support them as well. This is just a little snippet of what we've done over the past year, just from our website. So we're busy bees, but that's what we've been up to. So a one-to-one support sessions refers to my part of the job, which I'll explain in a little bit, but that's about help, support and advocacy. I'm an LGBT practitioner, so I offer one-to-one support. Youth groups. We have a youth group in Truro, which I'll explore later, and there's been 61 of those in the past year. 687 counselling sessions, over 2,000 individuals supported by LGBT plus school lunch groups, and 21 family support days. And I will explain what each of those are in a bit more detail. So our services are there. There's a few to get through. So we have a helpline, we have counselling, support and advocacy, which is my role, and the other things that I've mentioned. We have a domestic abuse support specifically for LGBT people, which is called Safer Rainbow. We have the Rainbow Flag Award, which is like a training certificate award type thing for organisations that are supporting young people. And we have quite a new project, the Family Pride. I say it's new, actually. I think it's been going for a year now, but it was new. It's the first of its kind. So I'll explain all of those a little bit more. So to start with, our helpline is probably the most valuable in terms of making a referral or seeking support or information. So this can be used for, a client who is wanting to access our service themselves and just ring up and talk about maybe their issue. Sometimes they don't need ongoing support. They just need that space initially to talk about things and be signposted to information out there. But it's also really useful for organisations who maybe want to make a referral. It's open 9 till 4, Monday to Friday, and then there's an email that's linked to it. And yeah, it's just, I would say that is the first port of call. If you are in a situation where you think, maybe I need to make a referral, or I'm maybe not sure what service would be best for them, if you call our helpline worker, he will be able to discuss with you and maybe guide you more effectively to what service by making a referral for that client. There is an online referral form, which I'll go through at the end, but this would be, the first port of call kind of for any advice. And like I said, even if you want to make a one-off phone call and there's something happening with a colleague or a client, or just, for yourself, you want to just have a bit of a space to share, or some kind of information more specifically about this, then that would be the first place to go to. The helpline is also the main route into our one-to-one support. So that leads into my role. So I am an LGBTQ plus practitioner in Plymouth. We have offices in Exeter, Plymouth and Cornwall. We just cover the southwest. We're trying to cover a bit further up, but that's an ongoing battle. But yeah, so that's where we are at the moment. So my role is just to provide one-to-one emotional and practical support. Really important that we don't advise, but we are just there to have that space to talk about things and point people in the right directions or support them in person. So currently in my role, I have clients that are as young as 7. So I'm going into school with them and just kind of talking about their identity and just having a space to be like, oh, sometimes I feel like this and I'm not quite sure what that means. And it's just about listening to them and again, just sharing information that might be helpful to them, just having that space to kind of have those thoughts and explore them. I have clients that are 60 plus, so it's a huge range of people that we support as a practitioner, and it can be, like I said, a range of things. So I have helped people with neighborhood harassment, if they're experiencing that because of who they are, their gender identity or their sexual orientation. Workplace discrimination, bullying is quite a common thing, which, initially I'll work with the young people that have referred in, but schools are often very welcoming. We kind of join together and look at how we can effectively address the bullying that might be happening to that individual. Also things like coming out. A lot of young people will refer in who just want that support, telling their families or their friends, because they feel the need to come out. It's still a kind of a societal expectation of coming out. So supporting them in that, or supporting trans members with some kind of social transition. And yeah, just, it's really important to have that space where there's that understanding from the get-go that they are a member of the community. Because I think for a lot of our clients, it's that revealing that part of themselves to an organization that is so worrying for them. And of course, I know, from all the lovely people that I've spoken to in this meeting, people are very accepting, and wonderful and tolerant, but it is quite a barrier still, that preconceived worry of and one negative experience will impact that person for a long time. So yeah, so it's really good just to kind of start people off having a space to talk about who they are. We often find that shame is a huge issue for our clients, internalized homophobia, internalized transphobia, where they can't accept themselves. And yeah, just having that space is really helpful for them. Sometimes it's very brief. Sometimes I'll help someone for a couple of weeks and then they're like, oh, actually I can do this, and I feel better about this. It can be much longer than that. We're quite fortunate that we don't have a time limit on our support. So we're very client led, so we will follow their footsteps. It could be, I've had some clients for over a year. I've had some clients for much shorter. Often you'll say to a client, I think it's actually time we close. And they're like, oh, I've been thinking that as well. And, so it's very client led. It's all about when they're ready for it. And yeah, so that's my role, and that is just one strand of it all. But I think this kind of one-to-one support is the most people get referred into on this part of the service. So Family Pride is a great service. So we have a Family Pride worker in Cornwall. So we have one in Cornwall, one in Plymouth, one in Exeter. And Family Pride is just about a space for families who have one member or two. It can be more than one, but at the minimum, it just needs to be one member of the family who are LGBT plus, and there needs to be a conflict within that family. Now, it doesn't have to be a conflict between the LGBT person and others. So it often it could be that there are parents who maybe are having a conflict, they're stressed, they need some support, conflicting against one another. And it's not about their child being LGBT, but of course that adds an immense amount of pressure. And that is a factor that is, subconsciously adding pressure to them. So it can be that type of situation. Often it is that there is conflict between the LGBT parent and the rest of the family, or the LGBT child and their parents. So it's just a project that is to try and support families who are, part of the community, as allies, as actually, identifying with the community, and giving them more bespoke support. So they also do parenting support sessions online, which have been really successful, because again, LGBT parents have expressed that other parenting support isn't maybe as inclusive. It's not always including the thought of having two same-sex parents and the different challenges that they face. So it's just another kind of specific bespoke offering to give to LGBT people. A part of this is Family Pride Days, and those are just basically fun activities that are people, anyone can come to it. You don't have to be part of, you don't have to be referred specifically into this service. You just need to have an LGBT member of the family, and obviously if you're an adult, you need to come with a child. But it's days like, I think we've had a day at the Box Museum where we just kind of went around and looked at everything, and there was a room where people could talk and make things together. We've had a science day in our office on Mutley Plain. Go for walks, but go on like the railways, things like that. So there's lots of different days. If you follow us on Instagram, we will put up when the next day is coming and what that is and where you can book for it. But this is just a really great opportunity for parents to meet each other, I think, who are going through the same things. One of the best things about it is obviously the young people, they get to meet each other and see that they're not the only person that feels how they feel. There are other young people out there who are actually experiencing the same thing, but also parents, who are really worried. They are worrying about their children. Maybe they're worried about what they might face as an LGBT person. So meeting other parents having that exact same experience is really valuable for them. So that's a really wonderful part of Family Pride. Sorry, I can't see anybody, but can I just check that my pace is okay, that I'm not rushing through anything for anyone? Is it all okay? I'll take the silence as it is okay.
Okay.
Fabulous. I see a thumbs up. Brilliant. Thank you. So I'll move on to our domestic abuse service, which is called Safer Rainbow. So again, it's for LGBT individuals who are feeling unsafe in their environment or their home environment or their relationships, or if they have been assaulted or have sexual health concerns. So we have our senior LGBT IDVA and ISVA. She is one person, so maybe it's IDVA, but yeah, she is fully trained to support anyone who is experiencing this and is referred into. There is a huge, and again, it's not everyone. There are many positive stories about this, but there have been a few kind of negative experiences reporting domestic abuse in same-sex relationships where they haven't been met with an understanding that it is domestic abuse if they are same-sex partners. And that is an issue that we're trying to kind of work at battling with this service. But also, again, as I've said before, it could be someone who has experienced this may want an LGBT specific because they themselves are, and they have that worry about being in a service that doesn't know that. So this is just another kind of really great, if you're supporting someone or, you know of someone that has experienced this in an LGBT relationship, then this is something they can access if they have had really negative experiences or they are feeling unsafe in general. I have a video to share, which is just a video about this service, but I just wanted to say, please take care of yourself. If you're worried that it will be triggering at all, please feel free not to watch it. I'm hoping that I put sound on, so let me know, and I will endeavour to change that if I haven't. Oh, it's muted itself. Can you hear it?
No.
No.
Fabulous. Right, it was going too well. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Right, share.
Don't apologise. It wouldn't be the same if it
Thank you for the understanding.
have gotten to mute. We haven't put the sound on.
Right, hopefully.
Do you feel safe in your relationship?
Fabulous.
We
Right,
can hear.
Oh, no?
No, yes, we can hear.
I'm sorry. Yes, fabulous. Right, here we go.
Physical injuries can dissipate with time. They can also heal on their own. Emotional abuse, however, will leave a scar greater and deeper.
I would rather take a punch any day from you than the things and the names you call me and make me feel.
She locked away my gender-affirming medication to control me. He threatened to out me to my family.
No one believed that the abuse was real. I was so afraid and alone.
You isolated me and made me feel guilty and afraid to see my friends.
You do not have to face this alone.
If you are suffering from domestic abuse or sexual violence, the Safer Rainbow Project provides specialist LGBT+ support across Devon and Cornwall.
At Intercom Trust, we offer a confidential, safe space for you to talk about your experiences and learn what options of support are available to you. You can talk to us on 0800 612 3010 or email helpline@intercomtrust.org.uk. Safer Rainbow Project, shining a light on domestic abuse and sexual violence within our LGBT+ communities. If you are at immediate risk of harm, phone 999. This film is sponsored by Standing Tall, Torbay Domestic Abuse and Sexual Violence Community and Voluntary Sector Partnership. For more information about Standing Tall, go to whatsyourproblem.org.uk/Standing Tall Partnership.
So that was made by Helen, who is our is the lead on this Safer Rainbow project. So very powerful, and just touches on things that even I haven't touched on, specific things that would only affect an LGBT person, gender affirming care, and things like that. So thank you for watching that. So this is my last slide before we can have a break. So counselling, we do offer LGBT+ counselling. We are fortunate to be able to offer it at a low or no cost counselling. The way that we do that is we have volunteers who are doing the counselling. So often volunteer students who are studying. But we are very lucky that a lot of people who have qualified do come back to do their voluntary hours with us. And we make sure that, we have given them the skills and, sorry,
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I didn't know if it was just me. I
No.
can't see the slides anymore.
Is it just, have I not shared them?
I could see
I
the
can't
video.
see them.
Sorry, everyone.
That's okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Sorry, it's my first time, so
No,
I'm
it's brilliant.
Thank you very much. So this is the counselling leaflet, now that you can see it. But yeah, so we're very lucky that they do come back and they offer their time for us. We understand that a lot of our clients can't afford it. So we kind of offer, you can make a very low voluntary contribution, which I think is sometimes £5 for each session, but often it is no cost. So that is just to talk about, the more in-depth things. So the one-to-one support that I offer, it will be that will be the place where kind of once you've built a rapport and you're discussing with this person what they're facing, then it becomes maybe a bit more obvious that counselling is more appropriate for them because obviously I'm not a qualified counsellor, which is a misconception a lot of the time for clients. So I have to clear up that it's a safe space to talk, but actually counselling is different. And so then we would refer into counselling. You can make a referral directly into it using the online referral form that I'll show you a bit later. But it's just, it's a good space to talk about those things I mentioned earlier, the internalised homophobia and transphobia. It can be, addressing issues about being outed and coming out and it not being a good reception by your loved ones. There's a lot of shame around this for people. So that is often why counselling is really appropriate. And that obviously impacts loneliness, isolation, and issues with low self-esteem. So this is a really great strand of the service to be able to offer. Exeter have a shorter waiting list because there are more counsellors that volunteer. In Plymouth, we have 2 who are currently working with us. They are fantastic, obviously, because I know them, I can say they are really wonderful. And our waiting list, I think, is a bit longer than Exeter. I would say our waiting list is about, at the moment, like 3 to 4 months for counselling. In Plymouth, I'm not sure about Cornwall and Exeter, but I know that the counselling does have a set amount of sessions, so that would be 12 sessions offered for that client. But yeah, this is another really important part of what our service can offer. So thank you for bearing with me with all the sharing of screens. I was thinking we could take maybe I'm not sure, a 5-minute or a 10-minute break, just have a cup of tea and just a snack if you need one. So maybe we come back at 22. Would that be okay?
That's okay
Great.
with me. If everybody else, I think, yeah.
Fabulous. See you then.
Lovely.
Thank you. See you
you.
soon.
Hello, I know that was a very short break, so please don't worry if you're back yet. I'll just give it a few minutes and then carry on, just so people can get their beverage ready if they need one. And if you're happy to give me a little thumbs up when you are back, and then I can, I'll just work out. Fabulous. Thank you. Lovely. Thank you so much. I believe I'm still showing my screen. Can you see? Yes, lovely. Thank you. So just the next few services may not feel as, as relevant for you, but I just wanted to explore them in case there was ever a situation that arose that you might think of them in. So the Rainbow Flag Award, it isn't something that Intercom itself has created, but we are one of the organisations that will deliver it. We have 2 dedicated workers who deliver the training and work with the schools, mark the work that's sent in and things like that. So it's a national quality assurance framework that has a focus on positive LGBT plus inclusion and visibility for settings where there are young people. So a lot of the people that are currently doing it are secondary schools. And we have had a few schools that have passed with, flying colours. Devonport High School for Girls, fantastic, I've heard, and, very proudly display that they have received this award. And so, yeah, it's an opportunity for places where young people are to complete. So there's 7 strands of it. Some of it is about policy, some of it's about parental involvement. So every single stakeholder of that organization is aware that this is going on and can contribute to it. And it's just about creating a more inclusive environment for those young people, looking at the whole organization approach to bullying, LGBT specific discrimination. And it can be helpful if you're working with a young person and you think, oh, actually this school is doing a fantastic job at this and they might as well do this award because they are doing wonderful. You could always, that might be a time where you think, oh, I can mention it. There may be times where you think, oh, this organization could maybe do some learning and I know where they could go for it. So it's just there if if you ever come across an organization that you think could benefit from achieving that award. Separate to this, we have 2 schools workers who work as part of the Open Project, and that is a project that aims to enhance the lives of young LGBT plus people across secondary schools in Cornwall and Devon, including Plymouth and Torbay. And this is through providing safe space groups in secondary schools. So I know that Just Like Us have started this as well, which is great. They have started quite a big campaign about this. So creating lunchtime groups for LGBT students. Very proud to say that there is now an LGBT plus schools group in every secondary school across Cornwall. Our worker Sadie has done a fantastic job. And the way the schools groups are set up is the workers will go in to create the space and kind of model how to lead it and what can be done in that club, and then eventually pass that on to a member of staff who feels confident carrying that on in the absence of an Intercom worker. Holly in Devon is working amazingly. Obviously, there's quite a few more secondary schools to get through, but we are in the majority of them now, which is wonderful. And another really great part of this service is there's a day each year where the schools in that kind of place, so Exeter, Plymouth, Cornwall, will all join up. Last year it was all about, so there'll be a theme for the day and it was all about employment, which was fantastic. I was lucky to go to it. And it's just bringing in LGBT people who who are currently working, kind of what they looked for when they started employment, what to be aware of. When you are entering the world of work, it's important to know kind of what to look for as an inclusive company in all sorts of ways. There's a huge intersectionality within this community. So it's not just about being LGBT, it's thinking about other access needs that you might have. And looking for that inclusivity in companies and businesses that you might want to work for. But also in the afternoon, we did a bit about interview prep, and thinking, so for an LGBT person, part of that interview prep might be introducing themselves and their pronouns, which may not align with what somebody has thought their pronouns would be, which can be quite tricky and quite scary. So part of that day was thinking about, okay, how can you comfortably say, okay, this is my name, my pronouns are she, her, my pronouns are they, them, and feel confident sharing that information. So this is just again, it's a great service for young people who are in secondary schools. Another service for young people, we have a youth group in Truro called Yay, Young in Yourself. This is for, I know I keep saying LGBT+, but it is obviously some are listed there: non-binary, intersex, asexual, queer or similar, or just thinking you might be. It's a space to go and meet other people of a similar age, and do fun things like wonderful youth clubs are. We offer to refund young people's train tickets or bus tickets if they can't afford to come otherwise, because it is only in Truro. So, and obviously in Cornwall, travel is quite can be quite a barrier, like public transport and whatnot. So yeah, so that's something we offer as well. So if you have a young person and they would like to go, but they're worried about that kind of barrier, it's worth talking to us about that and seeing what can be done to get that young person there. This youth group, fantastic. And at Pride, they often will take all the young people to Pride and go on they wanted to join the march last year, so they got to be a part of that. And it's a helpful space if maybe a young person doesn't have the friends or family that want to engage with that part of their life. This is a really good space for them to be able to meet other people and be supported in that. The last little bit I'm going to talk about is training, and I won't go on too much. There'll be a lot of information on the screen, so feel free to read it if you'd like to. But it's just to let you know, as organisations, we offer training to improve people's confidence and skills working with LGBT+ people. So we do an LGBT inclusion training specifically, and each member of Intercom also receives this training. So from our CEO, he delivers it, and it's a really great opportunity, I think, because it's kind of, when I went into it, I found it very affirming and validating. Thinking, okay, yes, I was aware of this, and okay, I do understand the things that I need to understand, but there was new things that I hadn't heard of, that it was a really safe space to kind of talk about it, and I sat that training alongside, I think, members of Devon County Council. There were some GPs there. I know that it's been delivered to police officers in different places, and so it's just it's a great option to just have that initial safe space to talk about what needs to be discussed, and it is a safe space to get things wrong. I know that there's a lot of kind of, I don't, even just LGBTQ+, there's a lot of labels in there that people, kind of, there is like a joke about the alphabet mafia and things like that, but it's just a safe space, rather than thinking, oh, there's so many labels and I could never understand them. That's okay. But coming to this training, actually, you can hear them at least and just have a safe conversation about what they are and understanding what they mean. Just having that initial kind of, chat and being able to say things that maybe you're thinking, oh, I can't really say that. No, absolutely ask those questions in this training. It can address the misconceptions, the misunderstandings, and it's just a great place to kind of have that, like that deep dive into what supporting an LGBT person might look like and what might need to happen. So there's just information there about that. If you feel like, you know, you personally can just book onto it, or as an organisation, people can book onto it. And I won't read these to you, but these are just questions that if you were thinking, oh, actually, I would really like to do that in my organisation or just as myself, these are questions that you can ask, thinking, would it actually be beneficial? You might think, actually, I have a really good understanding of this and I feel very confident in it, then that's wonderful as well. And you can always call the helpline about training, but there is a specific line here for training if you wanted to just talk about that and didn't want to talk to the helpline. But I believe that is just our Exeter office number, so you could just look for that and call if you wanted to talk about it, because I think someone has contacted me about this from, it wasn't Nika, but it was someone Nika had sent my way. So so some of you might already be looking into doing this training, which is fantastic. Another bit of training that we offer is gender history, which is all about the kind of the existence of trans people throughout history and around the globe. It's really, really interesting. It explores gender diversity from a global perspective. So I've just put two examples of, diverse gender around the world, but there's so much more. And this again is something that you can just book onto as an individual. It's online, it's a Teams meeting. Do it every couple of months. So again, if you were interested and you wanted to follow our Instagram, that will be where the information generally goes out about it. But yeah, this is just, I did this before I got my job because I was a little bit of a geek about gender variance and I kind of loved it. So learning about this was incredible. So yeah, really interesting and very helpful in supporting somebody who is dealing with gender, identity kind of issues, because that feeling of loneliness and that feeling of like no one's like me, or what, it's very new, that a lot of people feeling it's very new and fresh. Actually, it's not. It's been around for such a long time. So really helpful to kind of give that sense of belonging to somebody that you may be supporting. This is just my last little bit of talking for Q&A. So I've spoken a lot about making a referral. So this would be how you would do it. You can make a referral for someone else very easily. I'll show you, the first question will be, is it for you or someone else? So just go to our website, intercomtrust.org.uk. There'll be a page of something, like a picture, and you click on the Get Help. The Get Help will be a list of the services I have spoken about today. So you can click on any service. This is the one that will come up for support and advocacy. So you will just click on support and advocacy, scroll down. This will come up and say either call our helpline or make a referral. If you click make a referral, this part, it comes up. And as I said, you can say I'm requesting support for someone else, or if it is for yourself, obviously you can do the one for yourself. And it's just 4 pages. I haven't put all the questions up, but it is just basically questions that will assert what services you think that client will need, or that yourself, but what services you think are needed. There's space to kind of explain why you think those services are needed, which are really helpful to understand if that is relevant for that service, but also space to kind of put, for lots of our clients, contacting them directly isn't always safe for them. So if you're concerned about that as well, there's a space to put that in. Do not, contact me first, don't contact my client. There's issues around that. And yeah, you could just put that in. You should hear back from our helpline worker pretty soon after. The current waiting times for an INA, which is an initial needs assessment, is in Cornwall, it's very short, it's 3 to 4 weeks. In Plymouth, it's about 3 to 4 months. And in Exeter, it is 5 to 6 months. So that's the wait to have the first initial meeting about what they need in a bit more detail. And then their support shall start after that. So that's just a bit of an insight into kind of the waiting times. Thank you so much for listening to me talk about all of the many different services. And yes, please feel free to ask any questions. I'll do my best to answer them.
Thank you so much, Alice. That was absolutely great. I wonder if before the questions and answers, could we stop the recording, Emma, please?
Yeah, I'll stop it.
Thank you very much.
I'll just work out how to do it.